Alright, y'all remember those tomatoes we planted a few months ago? Are you ready to see how they're doing? Come on. So you recall we took this one plant apart. It's about $12. And we got 2 decent sized plants out of it. So we planted them in 2 5-gallon buckets with the net cup lids. And some of the suckers have already started developing roots, so we decided to put them in this container. And about a week later, the roots are already starting to develop. When they got big enough, we decided to put them into our NFT system. We'll talk about this later. Basically like the crack key system, except it's got a little pump, a little bit of nutrient solution flowing along the bottom. We decided to leave this one guy here by himself. Now for the past few weeks, all we've done to these is to keep the nutrient level between 1/2 and 3/4 full. And we'll show you a trick to that later. I did have to pick a couple caterpillars off once or twice. Oh, let the squirrel go run and play. But as you can see, got some nice tomatoes coming in. Got a real red one in there. We're gonna pick him today. And we've got some more that are about to ripen up, and we've got a lot of little ones all over the place. So relatively good success. When we first planted these out, I'll link the video up there. About 2 weeks later, we went out of town and it got down near freezing and thought we lost both of them. But we brought them inside. The roots got a little brown. They were all drooping over, and we put them under some lights, warmed them up, and they made it come back and did pretty good. Got quite a bit of tomatoes on it, and this is still only the beginning of May, so we'll probably get some more out of it. There's still a lot of little blossoms coming up. One thing I want to let y'all know, I filled this up about three or four times with a couple of gallons of water. Remember, we said we want to keep it between 1/2 and 3/4 full. If you can maintain it at about 3/4 at all time, if you don't go out of town all the time, if you're at home and you can maintain a level, that's the best. And remember, we said you need a little airspace in these off-grid hydroponics so that the roots can absorb oxygen. And what happens is sometimes people forget about it and they just fill it back up, getting over anxious, and refill it all the way up. Or like this, it's out in the weather and it'll rain, and even though this is all covered up, rain drips down in there, and if you get a lot of rain, it can flood it. So what I do, there's a little secret, and I forgot to show this in the other video, and some people have asked about it, but you know that this net pot, I'll bring you in closer in that, but you know that that has a net pot that sits down and it's got hydroton in it and the roots. What I do is that very bottom of the net pot, wherever that level comes to, bring you in and show you. Come on. Right in here. You can see that right there. Got a little hole drilled. Now that level is about the bottom of that net pot. Sits right in there. So that when I filled it up in the beginning, it was just touching the bottom. The roots start going down here. And then every time you fill it up, it won't never go past that level. So it'll always leave this airspace in there. So I drill that little hole in there so that even if it rains, it might dilute your nutrients a little bit, but it's always going to overflow there and it won't fill up and drown your roots. So don't forget to drill you a little hole in all your containers. The smaller containers, if you have a smaller container, you want to put it up near the top, but this has a really big net pot on it, so that gives you this big airspace. So drill a little hole and you'll never overfill your container. Alright, here's our NFT system. Now these are just the ones that were just suckers off of the main plants. They're getting big enough, had to tie them up, and they're getting too heavy, and we have this big open space down here, so I decided to let a few plants hang down. You can see they're growing tomatoes down here. We'll keep you updated on these. Now all of these plants and tomatoes came from that one $12 container. Alright, time to eat some tomatoes. Now someone asked me if a tomato grown in a traditional garden gets too much rain, they split open, then why doesn't the hydroponic tomato split open? And I really don't know. So maybe one of you do. Let me know. Alright, don't forget, live to inspire. Keep on growing. I love y'all. Peace.